Locke and Key Season 4 – Everything You Need to Know. The third season of television drama Locke and Key was finally out on August 10. Season 3 was perhaps the most explosive yet, with the magic of the Keyhouse potentially threatening the entire world. With the show's popularity and the stellar ending to Season 3, fans are wondering whether we'll get a Season 4. Let's find out. Locke and Key has both been popular and critically acclaimed. At the time of this video, the critic score on review aggregate site Rotten Tomatoes stands at 64% and has been as high as 75%. For all that's the case though, we have some disappointing news for you fans. Locke and Key Season 3 is the final season and at the end of the road for the series. In an official statement, showrunners Carlton Cuse and Meredith Averville explained, "Once we began working on the series, we felt 3 seasons was the ideal length to bring the story of the Locke and Key family and their Keyhouse adventures to a satisfying conclusion." They continued, "As storytellers, we're happy to have had the chance to present our interpretation of Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez's amazing tale in the manner we saw fit. However, we're retaining the magical keys for our own use." The writers clearly intended for the season to wrap up by the 3rd season. And it's worth mentioning that the bulk of the Netflix shows only last 3 or 4 seasons, unless they are juggernauts like Stranger Things. The Joe Hill, Gabriel Rodriguez's comic Locke and Key comprises 6 distinct series arcs across its 5-year, 37-issue original run. This means that not all of the stories from the original comic book series will be realized. Besides, it looks like the cast too is looking ahead. The cast members have long since left the program. Season 3's filming was completed in the fall of 2021. In fact, some members have already stated working on new roles. For instance, Coda, the film that won the Best Picture at the 2022 Oscars, earned Emilia Jones a BAFTA nomination earlier in 2022. As an executive producer on the upcoming Apple TV Plus series 5 Days of the Memorial and a new TV adaptation of the cult classic, The Hitcher's Guide to the Galaxy. Co-showrunner Carlton Cuse has also moved on to other TV projects. A movie adaptation for Locke and Key. Speaking of whether we could see a movie adaptation of Locke and Key, it seems improbable, given how long it took for the first one to go from page 1 to screen. When you think about how the tale concludes in Season 3's concluding episode, Season 4 seems like a far-off fantasy. We also need to take into account the connection between Locke and Key and the Sandman. Locke and Key / Sandman. Hell and Gone is a crossover between these two properties. A crossover comic was created in 2021 by IDW Publishing and DC with the approval of Neil Gaiman, Joe Hill, and Gabriel Rodriguez. There is a connection between one of the Locke ancestors and Roderick Burgess, the man who imprisoned Morpheus for the majority of the 20th century. Although a full-blown crossover may not be possible on screen, Sand in Season 1 had surprising references to the larger DC world, so it wouldn't be difficult to work on some Locke and Key Easter eggs as well. There are a lot of resources to work on, and therefore we won't rule out the possibility of a spin-off in the future. However, we guess only time will tell as to whether we can see a Locke and Key spin-off in the future.